Lights, camera, debate, ignite, passion strong under the spotlight. Tune in for the clash, tune in for the spark. The critic and the cynic light up the dark.
Welcome back to The Critic and the Cynic. This one's called Confessions of a Christmas Letter.
Why is this set up like the trivia poster? Except that there's 3 people instead of 2.
Well, the trivia poster did not have a red background. This is not a very good marketing. If you've seen the poster, guys, it's a lot of red.
Alright, we got an actress from The Office.
Yes, Angela Kinsey. Angela Kinsey, really the only one that I recognize is The Office. But if you guys cannot see the poster, what we're looking at here is a very, very, very red poster. The only thing that's not red are the people on the screen and I guess the lettering as well. Because what they're standing on, it looks to be a mailbox that's red. Behind them, they have red sky, red trees, and the floor beneath their feet is also red. There's just too much red going on in this poster. In the one that you talked about before, the trivia at St. Nick's, they had very plain background where it was not red, it was a red question mark. But
well, no, I'm talking more of the 2 people on either side of, on that one it was more of a podium.
They were leaning over it,
and this
looks
one, like a
They're
mailbox.
leaning on a mailbox.
But that's what I'm talking about, not the color scheme.
Yeah, I'm talking about the color scheme because I'm thinking about coming at it from a marketing perspective, a graphic artist perspective. I think it needs less red, but that's just me.
I like the red.
Everything is blending into each other. It's just bleeding. That's all I see. Blood.
Bold.
It's bleeding.
Red is bold. It's fine.
So Confessions of a Christmas Letter, once again, has Angela from The Office in it. I think that's the only one that I recognize. I could be wrong there. We have a rating on Track.TV of 65%. Once again, it's falling into that ballpark of around 6 to 6.5, which is usually what you see. And we have the tagline of, "Their Christmas vision could use a revision."
Okay, that's not great either.
Okay, yeah. They're trying to go off of the rhyming of vision and revision.
You can't try to go for rhyming if you're just recycling the same word.
I know. I remember my poetry teachers saying the same thing, saying they hated whenever they saw that. Though it is in a lot of stuff.
It might be in a lot of stuff, but it doesn't make it good.
So, let's take a look at the premise here. Seti Rose, that's her name, Seti.
That's her name.
An eccentric matriarch hires struggling novelist Juan to write her holiday contest entry. A mix-up sparks gossip of Juan's engagement to Seti's daughter Lily, leading the family to play along humorously.
Okay then.
Okay, so the only thing in there that sparked my interest was the holiday contest. It's not saying anything about what that is. It's saying her holiday contest entry. That doesn't tell me anything. It's like, holiday contest. What's the holiday contest? I want to know more about that.
Well, obviously it has to do with writing something.
Obviously,
it
has something to do with writing. There's a mailbox. They're holding a letter on the poster.
Okay, there's probably a letter, like a write your best letter to Santa or something.
Oh my gosh! I guess Christmas letter, confessions of Christmas. Maybe the Christmas letter really has confessions. I don't know.
You know what? You know how people get together and they write that really weird braggy letter about all the wonderful things that happen to their family over the year?
No.
I bet you it's that. And then she's like, oh, and my daughter got engaged. And that's how they get the mistaken fiance issue.
Okay.
Because they'll be like, oh yeah, we did this and that and this. You've never seen anything where they have those braggy letters?
No.
All right.
Then again, you were always pretty big on thank you cards and stuff, which my family never was either.
But thank you cards are completely different than the braggy Christmas letter, because that is a whole long letter bragging about all the positive
What's
things.
the point of bragging?
Well, it's not really bragging.
It's updating people what's going on with your life?
Yeah, but they only highlight the good.
Well, you're not going to say, oh, Merry Christmas. Ha ha. My dog died. You know?
No, they'll say something like, my dog went to doggy heaven.
That's right,
this
doggy.
year."
Yeah.
So it's going to be like sugar-coated nonsense, whatever.
Okay.
Think of a really long social media post that like covers the whole year. There you go.
I guess. All right. I feel like that one's going to be boring.
Most likely.
I like Angela, but on her own, I don't know.
Well,
I know that she and two of the other girls, I think, from The Office are doing their own rewatch of The Office podcast, which is cool. On her own, again, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either.
I just don't know why she can't be a patriarch and then be married to old matriarch, whatever, and be married to the patriarch, Dwight.
Oh boy.
That'd be great.
2 hours later.
That was a whole lot of crazy.
That was a movie. Tell you the truth, throughout watching it, I was, or especially in the beginning, I was considering hitting my veto a little bit. Just at the beginning. I think throughout the movie it got better for me and I got more invested in it, but
Because you had to embrace the crazy.
you had to embrace the crazy. A lot of people were saying, oh, this is the Get Out or some people said Misery version of a movie that's Christmas related. I have not seen Misery, didn't read it and watch the movie, so I can't speak to that, but obviously with Get Out. Have you seen Misery?
No, I have not.
Have you seen Get Out?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you saw Get Out, but I couldn't remember if you saw Misery or not, because I have not. But the idea there is that the family's just nuts.
Oh yeah.
And if you look at it that way, some people had been commenting, other than Get Out or Misery, they'd be like, oh yeah, everybody in the movie, every single person is crazy and capable of murder, and I wouldn't have any other way. As soon as you embrace that, I think you can have a good time with the movie, but the reason why I was kind of hovering around my veto button was because I was bored at the beginning, and it was featuring a fancy pants family that does stuff that I cannot relate with.
Yeah, because you had never heard of this whole Christmas letter writing thing.
No, I don't know. People do this in a way on like Facebook, and they write down, oh, this is what happened during the year. This is what's going to happen soon. This is what we're looking forward to. It's just like a status update.
But, yeah, but that's like a modernized version of this Christmas letter, which has been forever. I mean, I've definitely heard about it. My family didn't do them, but we would receive some.
I could see you receiving some, but my family never received them. We never wrote them. So at the end, we didn't even send out Christmas cards, just like family portraits or anything like that. But I mean, I'm sure we've heard of that.
Well, yeah, it's just a thing that people do. Some people do.
So the kind of the humor of the film kind of lays into that everybody's crazy thing, and the fact that the entire narrative centers around them hiring a ghostwriter out of Puerto Rico to write their Christmas letter for them. And the entire movie, from beginning to end, is basically about that, which is insane. I mean,
Well,
you're talking
yeah.
about one piece of paper that just updates people about your lives. That's what the entire movie is about.
Yeah, and you definitely have to suspend reality here because no one is going to believe that a novelist, especially one from another country, is going to get this request. I don't even know how they got it to him, saying, hey, why don't you come spend 2 weeks with my family and write a letter?
Well, it actually reminded me of another horror film that came out like this year, which was Speak No Evil, where it had a couple of tourists that are invited to some random person's home in the middle of nowhere for a week or whatever, and they're like, yeah, okay, no problem, let me just get on a train and go out that way. And it's like, nobody's that stupid.
No. So in order to enjoy this movie, you have to suspend reality and you have to embrace the crazy. That's
basically it. And I think part of it that saved it for me, at least in the very beginning, was we got Angela Kinsey, obviously, Angela from The Office, and a little bit of a cameo from Kevin from The Office is in there as well. I wasn't expecting that. That was nice to see.
I did kind of expect that because I did see a Facebook post
Did you?
about
Oh, okay.
like he came out to support it, and it did say, oh, and there's a cameo, and I'm like, okay, but I didn't pay that close attention.
And it's always weird to see him not be in the Kevin role, the dumb, kind of role. Though, if you go back and you watch the first season of The Office, especially the first couple of episodes, he acts exactly like he does in this, where he's like a lot more normal, a lot higher pitched of a voice, and he's a lot more energized before he's just a big oaf. So I've seen it before. It's just weird to see him in that role. And like I said, it would have been nice to see Angela's husband if that was played by Dwight. That would have been cool.
I don't know. I liked her husband. Actually, I liked the casting in general. I liked everybody in this movie.
I was okay with, I would say, a majority of them. I liked the daughter. We mentioned that before. Like, she exudes that kind of warmth and fun feeling atmosphere that you get with certain actresses in these movies. Like, Ashley Williams had it.
Yeah.
But we also mentioned Katherine Heigl, and
She reminded me a lot of Julia Stiles.
yeah, Julia Stiles as well. And so I was like, oh yeah, she'd be like a mix of Julia Stiles and Katherine Heigl or something. So she was fun. She just looked like she was having a fun time. Like, from the get-go, she was just playing along and she was having a good time.
And perfect casting, because like the daughter was supposed to be kind of like a free spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a little flighty, but just kind of always just following the next shiny thing, basically.
Yeah. So overall, I would say it was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think so.
So what would you rate it?
I'm gonna go with like a 70. I thought this one was fun.
70%. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I started off pretty low. I always have a number floating in the back of my head when we watch any given film. And the number that was floating in my head when we first started was like 40. And then it went up a little bit. But not by much. I would say at max like 60.
So you're telling me that if you saw this one come on TV or something, and you had nothing to do, that you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this one was fun, I'll watch it?
Nah, not really. There's parts of it that I like. Just parts of it. I don't like the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with 60. You're like at a 70. But granted, I kept on going back and forth. Like, I started at 40. 60 is the highest. Like, I went down to 50 for a second. I went back up to 60. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt by saying 60. But I could go lower.
Well, here's a question for you. This family is just like quirky and fun. Would you join the family if they were your neighbors and they just had like, hey, come join us?
Would I join their family?
Yes.
I feel like they're going to murder me. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd be like, yeah, I'm down with this.
I like their silent tango. That was fun. Disco? Whatever it was.
Your mom does those.
Yeah, the silent things. All right, then. So that was Confessions of a Christmas Letter.